of don't get in any stranger's car, no matter how many candies or puppies they got, right?
Puppies.
All right, we're back. Technical difficulties. You guys,
Nobody wouldn't even know that.
let me finish. You guys wouldn't know that because guess what? I did not exercise my PhD, my push here dummy, so we were not recording.
And we were
Yeah.
talking though.
We've been talking for a while.
No. I mean, minutes.
minute.
Some minutes.
Minutes,
A
for
few
sure.
minutes.
So, yeah, to kind of go over what we already talked about, we have kind of had some sinus pressure from the
From a plane.
Uh,
A lot
ears
of
did
people.
pop.
A lot of people on the plane had issues. Like going down, it was tons of adults like this. Usually it's babies. So if we sound stuffy, we're not sick. It's just that our eustachian tubes have finally decided to release, but they were clogged for a few days. We could not hear very well for a few
I was
days.
just
They had
90
popped.
months old when I found out it's not echinacea tubes, so
Well,
there
there's
we
that.
go. Right?
Anywho, so that was a quick
for
rundown.
sure.
Anyway, our ears finally did pop, but he still feels a little, or sounds a little underwater to himself.
To myself. So if I'm allowed, that's why, because people will be like, huh, what? Because I'm really allowed to
'Cause he
myself in my ear. But,
Hasn't been very loud on the outside for everybody else.
right. So brace yourselves.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
like, I'm fine. I sound a little stuffy, though. And I
Right.
was like, why do I sound? I sound stuffy because all the sinuses that were blacked out, backed up, blocked, and backed up. They were, because the eustachian tubes weren't like draining correctly. Anywho, so
And I definitely.
they're finally draining. I'm so excited.
I think for myself, I think I sound a little raspy, but it's, again, just sinus stuff.
Ooh.
But, any hoozles. So,
Anyway, that's what you missed.
that's what you missed.
We had to go on a plane because Chris's grandmother passed. But I feel like we told them last week.
Yeah,
We told you all
I can't
that
remember.
stuff.
There's been
But
so much
news
stuff going on
update,
lately.
our ears have popped.
Right.
Now we're
much-
just letting everything drain
So
out.
much stuff going on lately. It's just been kind of hard to keep track of it all. But
It's true.
any hoozles.
Now you're caught up. Hey guys.
Hey guys. So when we were kids, parents had rules for us when we were out with our friends or when we were walking home from school. If you got approached by somebody in a car, what do you do?
Say stranger danger, no thank you. Don't get in and run home, but not through the street, through yards,
Right.
so they can't follow. They would have to get out of the vehicle.
Right. And for you, it would have been a little bit different because, well, you grew up in a big city and I grew up out in the middle of nowhere. So,
That's true.
but yeah, it was always a thing of don't get in any stranger's car, no matter how many candies or puppies they got, right?
Puppies.
Don't get in the car. So for us, as we've grown up, as we've become adults, we've said, forget you, mom and dad, on that rule about not getting into cars with strangers.
Yeah.
We'll make an app for that and we'll do it willingly and pay for it.
Yeah.
Right? So,
It is true. Don't get in cars with strangers. How about if I pay them to take me somewhere, though?
right?
Wait, is that
So,
okay?
Which
They
is
check their references.
mostly.
They
I'm
say
sure.
they check their references.
I'm sure they run a manifest or whatever, but not if they don't get caught for the things that they do, then you know.
Okay, yeah. Makes me nervous now.
But we're adults, we can handle ourselves.
Yeah. Good deed.
But the other thing is, like, we went from, as a society, hey, don't get into cars with strangers, to us willingly getting in cars with strangers and even paying them for it. Yes,
Yeah.
there's always been taxis, but they're not private contractors, at least from my knowledge. They have a company that they actually go through. Like it seems like you have more of a way to go to them if an issue happens, right? There's a company, and
Well,
it
usually
seems
there's a
more
name on the side of the
right.
like it's a taxi car, a cab.
Right, there's identifying markers. There's the company name. There's a number.
Mm-hmm.
There's usually a taxi driver plate somewhere.
Yeah, in the front, and a lot of
Yeah.
times they have a thing, so they're not even in the same.
sneeze shield.
Yeah, they're not
Right.
even in the same like air as you.
Although one time that I was in Chicago with my parents, we were in downtown Chicago.
Yeah,
So you've been in downtown
I
Chicago.
have never been to Chicago.
Okay, well you drove on the outside of Chicago.
I drove. Yeah, I drove.
So
on
imagine like
hallway.
Seattle,
Mm.
but flatter and taller buildings.
Okay.
Right. We went in a taxi cab, did not have the thing,
Yeah.
and there was 3 of us. I got to sit in the front seat.
Oh.
So fun because I was between 10 and 12. Don't know
Okay.
exact date. And they said, hey, we need to go to this place. And that guy took it as his personal mission to see if he can make that Impala or Caprice, whichever it was, a rocket ship. We were no joke going through downtown Chicago running red lights at 60 miles an hour.
Why was he running red lights?
Because there was nobody else on the road and he didn't care. Right?
So scary.
So, I mean, not always is a taxi company the best, but
That would be so scary. I'd be like, here I come, oh Jesus.
right. Well, that would have been a bad day because I didn't know him yet. Anyway,
Turn the radio to something sad if I'm dying, so I'm not just upside down.
Sarah McLachlan
Like,
come
we
on the radio.
rock the world.
In the arms
We rock the
of
world.
an angel.
Yeah, that would be much better. That would be much better.
There's somewhere a dog's crying.
Yeah. Not something like poison, like just some 80s dance song. You're like,
But anyway, I recently saw a commercial
okay,
that was talking about how wait a minute, let me back up here. Recently saw a commercial that is for Uber Teen. And Uber Teen
Okay.
is a thing where
it sounds like a drink for old people. Uber teen.
yeah, let's get your youth back. Where your teenager can take Ubers and get home or whatever from activities and whatnot. And when you do your thing, then it will
Notifies you that they've arrived.
notifies you that they've been picked up and whatnot.
Okay.
Which concerns me for the kids because, their safety because, well, people are crazy. And I'm sure there's
Yeah.
people out there that have impersonated Uber drivers. And that's why they're always like the Uber standoff when they come up like, what's your name? No, what's
No,
your
what's
name?
your name?
Right? Trying to identify who's who.
Right. We had an Uber once. It had a completely different car, make and model on it. And I was
Right.
like, and they're like, are you, oh, well, he didn't say my name right, but Alethea? And I was like, yes, I'm assuming you're my driver then?
And what's
And
your
he's
name?
like, yeah. And I was like, your car is different than what's listed. He's like, yeah, I just got a new car. And I was like, you're going to want to let your
Hey.
company know. Because
Right?
people waiting for you are looking for a blue vehicle, and this is a white vehicle, and
Yeah,
that's
this is not
scary.
sketch at all, bro.
This is scary, man.
But so, which I think is all, but also a good thing, right? Because there's times that you can't always be to everything.
Yeah.
Things happen, right? Inevitably. But the other part that concerns me also is it gives another excuse for parents to be absent,
Yeah.
right? Because sometimes it's hard to make that decision that oh, I don't want to necessarily go for that career. I want to be there for my kid,
Yeah.
right? And you get a little sidetracked in your focus, whereas your kid is your most important thing, or at least should
Or you have to is a
be.
thing.
Right.
Like
There is that part.
we grew up latchkey kids.
Right.
Well, not my entire growing up, but there was a little bit there where I would come home alone and I would make myself a grilled cheese sandwich and I would do my homework. And I
Almost
would
all
watch-
of my growing up was latchkey.
Right.
Almost all of it.
So I mean, like, yes, I can see how it is making it easier for parents to stay away from the home and for the kids to do things on their own. But on the other hand, like other countries, like I think it's Japan, kids ride the thing on their own really young
Yeah, but that's I
for
don't know, to
school
me,
and
it just
stuff.
seems different because it's like a municipal thing.
Yeah, but I think it's safer to have somebody pick you up. Like,
Maybe.
I mean, it's essentially a car service. If the person is safe, then it's like a car service, a door to door, rather than around a ton of people you don't know.
Right.
It's just the one person.
Well, and they have a very different culture on honor and respect and all
And
that
watching
stuff.
each other's like kids
Right.
and stuff.
Right. So
Yeah, there is that. It does make me a little nervous just because for the most part it's probably going to be fine, but in Seattle we have a huge problem with
human trafficking.
human trafficking. And so it does make me a little nervous that there's a way for people just to pick up kids.
Right.
That does make me nervous. But I also see like the tool that it is. I remember when Autumn was in 9th grade and you had gone to work and it was a Monday. And so I had the day off. And so we were, just doing stuff in the morning, go out to the car and the car wouldn't start. And it ended up being just this one little like tiny piece that had to be switched out. And it just wouldn't let the car start. And I was like, oh shoot, how are we going to get you to school? So I called an Uber. And when he arrived, I said, and he goes, Alethea? And I was like, yes, but you're taking Autumn to school because my car won't start. And I will be tracking you. And if you kidnap my daughter, I will come for you. And he was like, I understand. I was like, she will be on the phone with me the entire time. So don't even think about anything. Thank
Right.
you. I am trusting you with my baby. And she's in 9th grade, but the fact that I'm putting her in a vehicle with someone that I don't know,
Right.
there's no like code word involved. Like your mom said to come pick you up. What's my code word? Pineapple. Oh, I can get in the car with you because that's my code word. Like, it's not even that. It's I am paying somebody to take my child somewhere and I don't know this person. And so I was
Right.
very like,
the big difference in
thank
that
you so much for
versus
taking care of her,
way-
but I will murder you if you take her.
the way this is marketed
Mm-hmm.
is that the parent doesn't even need to be anywhere around.
Right. Because the parent can, yeah.
Because at least
the
the
parent
parent-
has the,
At least in your situation, you could have been like, no, this guy's car, like, there's a bad vibe here. We're not doing this.
Yeah.
That gave you that chance for that. Whereas this is not that.
yeah. I wonder though if you can use it kind of like a private car service where you can ask for the same person. So let's say instead of riding the bus or whatever, you want your kid to take their own. Let's say that your kid was really bullied on the bus and you can't for this time period change your work schedule.
Right.
So instead, you just pay for Uber. So I wonder if you can have like essentially a private driver. Like every morning at 8:00, the same person comes to pick up your kid and
I don't.
drop
Yeah,
off
I don't
at
know
school.
because that's not the way Uber is marketed towards the drivers.
True.
Is you work when you want to.
No, I get that.
So
But I wonder if it's an option. Because I remember I think when we were in Long Beach with my mom, we were talking to our Uber driver, and I was asking him, like, what days he works and all of that stuff. Like, does he work every day? And he's like, oh, I just work, you know, whenever I want, and usually when it's really busy. And I was like, oh, it would be kind of cool if when we get back, if we could just request you if we knew that you were going to be off. And he's like, if you knew all this stuff, he was like, I think you can.
Oh,
And so I think it might be, I don't know, somebody who Ubers more than I do, and has actually researched it. We did something different, but yeah, if somebody actually knows if you can. I never researched it, but I think that would be the kind of cool thing, because then you would have, like, essentially a private driver that you pay to take your kid to school, or, every day take them to.
yeah, if they're going to be available, right?
Right. But I mean, if there's someone that is willing to be able, like maybe in the thing you can say, I need someone every day, Monday through Friday at 3:30 to pick my kid up from school and take them to dance. And then I will pick them up from dance. And it's like their after school activity. Someone is transporting, and so then every day you just have the same person picks them up at school,
Right.
and drops them off at dance.
Well, and that's what one of the things was like the kid was at a competition and won a trophy and like sent a picture of them in the car with the trophy, and the parent was like, yes, type situation. And I'm like, well, that's
And
so
it makes
sad.
it sad that they had to miss it. But on the other hand, like, unfortunately, sometimes whether your priorities are your kid first, you still have to make sure that that kid has a place to live and
Yes.
has food. And
Yes.
so I think it's more for the parents that want to be there but can't, rather than the parents who would rather
I think
not
it's
be
for
there.
both. The company
I
doesn't
mean,
care.
I'm sure the parent. I'm
The
sure
company wants to make money.
But I mean, if there's a parent who's like, I don't want to go to your 17th dance competition or your 18th soccer game,
Yeah.
take an Uber home.
I mean, maybe, for sure.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it is a little scary. But it is a very nice tool to have, and with all the added security, because it's Uber Teen, so I'm sure they have added security and added
Maybe.
like tracking and
Maybe it's like the whole DoorDash catering. Like you don't get to do certain DoorDash things until you've hit a certain mark and had a certain rating.
yeah. So
Maybe
you've
it's
been
that,
proven to be trustworthy.
Right.
It's not just new drivers being like, I want to carry around other people's kids.
Right. Hey
That's
there,
creepy.
kids.
Hey, I've got candy.
Right.
Oh, do you also have puppies? I do. Mine would be like, here's some audiobooks.
So, yeah, that's something I saw, and I was just like, I mean, like, I can see the utility in it, but
Yeah.
it also concerns me.
Yeah. And it makes me sad that there's like no one else
Within
that
the
could do
family.
that.
Right.
And I think there are a lot of families that live far away from their extended family. And so
Right.
that makes it even more difficult.
Well, I mean, take your mom and dad, for example. Like, none of their extended family is anywhere remotely close.
That is true.
I mean, there is because they made their own,
Right.
but not because of
Right, but their
brothers
siblings.
and sisters.
Their siblings are in different states.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like when we were growing up, we didn't have grandparents and aunts and uncles around, and we had parents' friends and
Right.
stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of nice. And there might be like people who just don't feel like they want. I'm sure maybe they have friends, but you don't want to feel like a burden. So it's just
Right.
easier to pay for something to
Well,
happen
and that's
rather than be like,
that's
"Hey."
also a thing about society too. It's not. We've went away from being a village
Yeah.
and taking care of things
Am I too close?
versus
Was I loud?
no,
I'm sorry.
just let me adjust.
That's fine.
I'm just making the thing point to your mouth so you're not
Oh,
eating your ice cream cone with your cheek.
sorry.
Anyway, instead of being a village to like help out and get things accomplished, it's like you're on your own. You do your own thing.
Yeah.
At least from
Your
what we've
experience.
seen.
Maybe it's different because we're in a city.
Could be.
Who knows?
I'm sure there are communities out there that aren't
Yeah.
like that, but what we've experienced,
Yeah.
it's
We also
very
don't
much-
want like to put out the other people in your life,
no.
but
But if it was more baked into culture, that
you
This
like
is
raise
what-
each other's kids and stuff.
well, that or this is just what you do in society. This is what you do to help.
Yeah.
It's different because I mean we even run into a lot of families that don't help each other as much as your family helps each other or is there for them.
Yeah, I hear a lot that my family is weird. And I'm like, oh, I thought my family was normal.
It feels normal to me. I mean, yes, you can say, "Oh, well, you've been around for 19 years," but it's also the way I guess I tried to be
Yeah.
earlier, but maybe I wasn't. I don't know. But
You're a lovely human.
huh?
You're a lovely human.
Sometimes.
Well, you're always willing to help. That was when we were in
When we were dating, yeah, you were not.
premarital counseling. One of the things she was like, okay, now Alethea, what don't you like about Chris? And I was like, it's not that I don't like this about Chris. It's that I'm concerned because he is so helpful and because he's willing to do anything for his family. My concern is that someday he's going to get taken advantage of. That someday, not from family, but like that someday somewhere someone will take advantage of him and he's not going to see it coming. And and she was like, well, you can, that's why you guys have each other, so you can help each other out. And he never has, and he's always very giving, and nothing like
It also
that. But
flipped the switch a little bit for a while because you said you didn't like it.
I didn't say I didn't like it.
Yeah.
No, I said it made me nervous
Whether-
for you and for us.
I remember it a little differently, but what you said or how I took it,
Yeah.
it did flip for a while because I perceived that you said you didn't like it. So therefore, I was less helpful for a while.
I never didn't like it. It just made me nervous for you
But
that someone would take advantage of you. And then I was like, it's who you are. If my biggest concern was that at some point, what if your need to help people was greater than your need to be with your family? Like, that was my biggest concern. Not that I didn't want you to help family or friends or whatever, or just random people in need. I loved that about you. I just didn't want, and there wasn't even like an issue with if you were to like run out in the middle of dinner to help someone. I love that about you too. It was just the fear that, it was just the fear that someone would take advantage of you, and maybe if I needed you, you would be out helping someone else. And then I was young,
yeah,
and I was like, that's, I'm nervous for that. Then I was like, well,
that's good.
this isn't I am not concerned that he's not going to be there for me. He's always going to be there for me, and our job is to be there for other people. And so,
Right. Well, and good for you, like actually saying how you felt, right? Mm-hmm. Because if it was a concern and you just let it fester and then it never actually got talked about or dealt with, that would have been a huge problem potentially later. So,
I was also coming from a big place of hurt from a previous relationship where
Other people were
I
more
was
important.
never chosen
Right.
and everyone else was more important. And so I was concerned from that point, not because you had shown that
Right.
previously, but because that's what I had experienced previously.
Right.
And I saw a similar thing where it could be this amazing thing, but it also on the other side is
Mm-hmm.
it could be very detrimental
Right.
if it's used in a manipulative, controlling kind of way.
Right. And, we all have to deal with the people that have hurt us. And we, as the significant other to the person, have to deal with the hurts that have happened to our significant other by other people
Right.
when you get in a relationship. And that
Right.
was something that happened.
Yeah.
So we had to work with it and
Yeah.
deal with it and all that fun jazz.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah. Why do we even get into that?
I don't know.
Helping people, maybe just community.
Yes.
Helping people.
Right.
I think is where it came from.
Just talking about village and just helping people and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But that's the other thing. Because he is so giving and because he wants to help and he wants to make people happy. If I were to say I want this thing right now, he would move heaven and earth to get that. If I want this, I want to do this, I want to go here, he would move heaven and earth to make me happy and to make it happen. And so I have to know and be careful, not even in joking, saying things, because I know that is something that he would do for me. And I have to be very cautious to not take advantage of
Let's just go to Alaska.
that gentleness.
Let's go.
Stop. I would love to go to Alaska. Oh. Yeah.
In due time. In due time.
His aunt and uncle, I think, are going to come out again in the next few years. And we would like to join them.
Hopefully it's not in our 20th year. That would put a wrinkle.
Yeah, he's planning our 20th year something. I've got 19. He's doing 20.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you want me to help you? And he's like, no. And I was like, you don't want me to help you plan it? And he's like, no. And I was like, are you sure you want me to help you plan it?
Wow.
I like to plan things. I'm excited, though.
I think I might have it. So
No, I know you have it. I just enjoy the planning part. Getting all of usually when we go somewhere, I have a whole booklet of all of our reservations and confirmation numbers, and it's all laid out and all this stuff just in case. I'm so excited. He puts it all just in email, and I'm I like it
confirmation
printed.
numbers.
Yeah.
On my phone.
I know, but what if we don't have cell phone signal?
I save them as images into my photos.
Interesting. So don't go through your photos.
You can if you want.
No, I want to be surprised.
Well, then.
Anywho, it's a year and a half away, so.
It is.
Yeah. So excited.
So excited.
I'm so excited. Are you excited for 19?
I am.
That was a really long.
I just know my plan. So I'm also a little not overwhelmed, but just there's a lot that needs to get done.
For 19?
No, for 20.
Oh, I asked if you're excited for 19.
Uh-huh.
But knowing that 19 is coming up makes you nervous
in a
for
few
20.
months. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
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 Mock. Yeah.
Yeah. Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Any hoot.
What's your topic?
On what?
What do you
My
want to talk about?
cheeks are twitching.
Yeah, your eyeball was
I'm
doing
winking
a
at
little.
you. I know it was. It was. Any hoot. I didn't have anything. You said I have something, and I said I love that.
Yes, well, usually is. Each of us has one, and we talk about it. We
No,
talk about it.
no. I've been busy,
You have been busy.
so
Well, right on. Well, make sure you hit the
um,
like button. Talk about Uber teen in the comments. Let us know if you feel like it's a good thing, a bad thing,
a both
and in betweensies.
a tool that can be used for good or bad. That's how I see
Hit
it.
the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you to the new subscribers. We've busted through the 20
We have.
mark. So
Oh
that has
my
been
goodness,
very cool and
guys!
very awesome. And yeah.
Precious little babies, so cute.
All right, guys. We are getting a little punchy and a little weird, so it's time to say bye.
Bye.